welcome to Comfort Legacies with Faye Michelle. Today we have a beautiful guest here, Miss Samyra, and she's going to be sharing her book. Welcome to Comfort Legacies with Faye Michelle, and we'll first have you start off by telling us who you are. Give us a little background.
Okay, so thank you so much for allowing me to be on the show. I am Samyra Alexander. I'm from Gary, Indiana, and I am a new indie author. The book is I Should Have Worn a Curtain, a novella. It's books 1 and 2. I re-released book 1 because after learning some things and doing a lot of research online, I decided that I could make book 1 a bit better. Although it had 53 Amazon reviews, and I am really grateful for that, I still wanted to make it better. So I re-released it along with book 2, which is the final in the series of my character Shayna. So I'm very excited about it. I just released and re-released last Saturday, so almost a week now.
Okay. So when did you get started on writing your book?
You know what? I got started on writing this book. It had to be about 2010. And what happened is that I wrote it, part 1, and then I stored it in my closet. And so every now and again, I would move and I would take it out and have a hope about publishing it. And so I looked into some magazines to see how I could submit it. Then I thought, I don't want to pay to submit to all these different magazines, and I didn't have a mentor or anything. So eventually, fast forward, COVID hit. So 2020, and I was only working about 10 hours because my full-time job was in the school working as a behavior therapist. And so that was totally knocked out by COVID. So I had a lot of time at home. And so I said, you know what? I knew somebody who self-published, somebody on Facebook. So I just went online and figured out how to do it myself. And I did it within a month and a half. So, yeah, I was very proud of myself because I thought that thing was going to sit in the closet forever. So.
Okay. All right. So did you work at getting editors?
Yes, I did. You know, somebody told me about Fiverr. So I went online to Fiverr. I found an editor. She was actually an Australian editor, from Fiverr, and she did an excellent job. And I also got the book cover, and I did the formatting. So, you know, I just went online and every answer I needed was there. And I applied what I learned from Google and YouTube and Fiverr, and that was how I self-published.
That's awesome. Now, Can you hold up your book? Just put it in front of you, please.
Oh, the book. Now, I'm going to tell you the thing about that is I am waiting on Amazon to send the author copies. For some reason, it takes so long to get the author copies, but I am holding out patience for that. So I don't have my author copies at the time.
Okay. They're probably sending it media mail, and that's probably why it takes a little bit longer. So, well, tell us about the name. How'd you come up with I Should Have Worn a Curtain?
The way I came up with the name, the first name was Shayna's Problem, because Shayna is the main character, of course. And so she has a problem, an eating disorder. So I was going to name it that, but I had a beta reader and they said, no, maybe you should name it something else. So what happens in the story, and I don't want to give too much away. If you know anything about eating disorders, if you eat a lot in one time, you can gain about maybe 5 pounds in a period of in about maybe 48 hours or so. So she's wanting to wear a curtain because she gained so much weight in a binge, because she was binge eating, that her genes are no longer forgiving of all the meat she has on her body. So she figures that if she wears a curtain, that it is roomier, it's forgiving of fat rolls and stomach rolls, and it's sort of, you can wear it like a toga, you know. And she doesn't have to worry about all her weight spilling over, because this curtain is flowing, and it can cover up what she needs to cover up.
Okay, so how did you come up with the curtain?
You know what? Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I initially wrote that story, I myself was dealing with an eating disorder. You know,
Okay.
I was binge eating. I wasn't purging like my character, even though this is fiction. But I used to think when I was binge eating that, man, if I could, because I couldn't wear my jeans anymore after a binge, or my clothes would be so tight. I would just look at my curtains on the wall and be like, wow, if I could just wrap that around me and like put a belt on it, you know, because I'm like, I gotta go to work and I'm trying to hide this binge eating, but I can't really fit my clothes, so it's starting to tell. And I was like, I just need to be able to snatch the curtain from that window and just wrap it around and put some earrings on and go outside and go about my business. But people will be looking at me funny, so I can't do that.
Wow, awesome. Okay, that makes all the sense. All because I was visualizing it, but I just wanted to know how you came up with it.
And I wonder
Um,
if other people understand it, because I'm like, I don't know. I wonder if some people have to have that mindset of a binge eater at the time. Because I'm telling you, when I used to think about it, it made perfect sense to me at the time.
well, you should have. You figured you should have worn a curtain, so it almost lends us to thinking, or at least me to thinking that something happened and you didn't wear something, but you feel like, oh dang, I wish I should have worn a curtain. You know what I mean?
And
So,
that's exactly what happens to my character Shayna. You know,
okay,
she
okay.
had that binge eating. She wished she'd worn it. You know, when if you ever gained any weight and put on some clothes and it starts to be uncomfortable and your jeans start to dig into your stomach and you feel bloated and you wish you'd have worn something else. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's very creative there. That's very creative. So now you said that you did all the research and you self-published. It only took you about a month or two?
Yeah, about closer to 2 months, I would say.
2 months.
Yes,
Okay.
because
So
the
when you did
story
your
was
first
already
book,
written.
you said you did a second one. So was that back to back? Why did you decide to do a second one? I know why you decided, but you said that you thought you could do it better. But how long in between did you wait to do the second one?
Okay, so I self-published book one, May. What was it? May of 2020, and so I just re-released part one on what
Mhm.
was that, last week. So it was all, well, close to a year that it took that I decided to redo book one. Now the reason that I did book two is because I thought I was done with the short story. It's a very short story. I thought I was done with it, but then the reviews started coming in and people really had positive things to say, really could understand the emotions of Shayna. They really got the eating disorder because that thing was raw, authentic. You
Uh,
know, I knew those emotions because I dealt with those emotions. So what
right.
they did, the constructive criticism was is that the ending, that they wanted more from that ending, and they were like, so what happened? It seems like she's made a different decision than it ended, and then I couldn't see it for like 8 months. I was like, I don't see it. I think it looks complete to me.
Hmm.
After the 40th review or something, and the people saying it, I'm like, well, maybe they're right.
Well, yeah.
I could be wrong. So you know what? I read that thing again. I read it, and then I said, "Oh my God, they're right." It was sort of a cliffhanger at the
Okay.
end. So like I said, so I made some changes with that, and did other changes in the story that people didn't ask for, but that I felt that I wanted to add to it. So
Okay.
that was really, so that's why I re-released book one. But the reason I did two was because people did mention like, well, what's happening with her now? So I wanted
Mhm.
to give them the what's happening with her now. I figured if people asked me for it, I wanted to see, okay, do these people really want to know what Shayna is up to? So let me give them that, and I'll see.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, that was smart. That was smart because you still have those 50 reviews, and people are going to be waiting to see the corrections or the more in-depth view of it. So, and that's good for book sales. That's a good one.
I think so. And within the week, for part one, the re-release, I have 4 reviews so far, and none of those 4 reviews have mentioned anything about a cliffhanger. And I also added to the end of part one, book two coming. So now they know, even though they don't get to see everything that happens with her at that moment at the end, they at least they know now. Oh, okay, now
Book
up to
two is
two is
coming.
coming.
Okay, okay. So how are the sales going?
You know what? With the sales, I'm getting some sales every day, which I'm happy about.
Ah,
What I
yeah.
want for ebook and for paperback, and then I do have people who want to buy the actual physical copy with my signature when it comes in. So I'm happy about that. And what I'm doing is as you know, marketing. You know, in different Facebook groups, IG, Twitter, things like that, word of mouth. I tell anybody, look, I figure like this. If I go to a coffee shop for years, like I do, because I like to eat too, like my character, I go to all these places, I find a way to mention my books. You know,
Oh, okay.
some people are scared to mention it to their boss or their supervisors. I let everybody know. My CEO, the boss, I work in social service, so everybody got a boss who got a boss who got a boss.
That's
I let
awesome.
everybody know, okay, hey,
All right.
you sent them the links in the email. I'm not. Hey, I got these books out here, and take a look if it's your thing.
Okay, all right. And that's going well, right?
Yes, it is. You know, I have my coworkers already. This flowers that I have right here is actually from a coworker from work because I would vent to them about the book covers, the struggles I was having with the book covers, and I told them I'm giving them free copies once my book come in because they really helped me with the book covers, and so they brought me flowers, and so people have been supportive, and so I'm happy about that.
Okay. So did you have a book launch?
I didn't do a book launch, you know, because I didn't do one last year. So I was wondering like, huh, do I really need it? And where I'm at, I don't know. In Los Angeles, you know, things are opening up, you know, but
Yes.
I didn't really research like how to do the launch. I'm thinking
Yes.
about doing some things once I actually do the books, like a video. I actually have a YouTube channel. And so doing something like that online.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Online virtual book launch is,
Hmm.
is nice since you so you're building up your clientele, your readers, and your support. And so tell me, you said you had it in a closet and you put it on. You finally did it, but what did that feel like when you first got that copy, or you got it, pushed that button on Amazon?
You know what? It was a great feeling. It was so awesome because I finally had accomplished something that I had been waiting to do for 10 to 12 years and that
Wow.
I had even thought that would never happen. You know? And so
Yeah.
I think a lot of times some people they have these dreams and it's like something you may want to do, but you really, you know, you could do it and then it's okay if you don't, you could live with it, you know, if that
Yes.
makes any sense. And I was at that point a long time with it, but to actually it was such a boost of self-esteem, of confidence when I
Yes.
finally
Yes.
hit that button. It was like I'm not just that person just sitting on my gifts just
Yes.
letting it rot. I don't want to be that person, as they say, there's more gifts and talents in the graveyard. I didn't want to be that. And,
Yes.
every year, I think I kept that thing in the closet. A part of me felt mediocre because I knew there was a talent in me that I needed to share with others that I wasn't, you know. And I
Right.
would talk about being my best self and doing these great things, but a part of me in my mind knew that some of that was a lie because I knew I was sitting on that book. But
Right.
when I did that, I felt that everything that the gifts and the talents that were within me at that time that I had already put that forth.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
I understand. I understand. I love asking that question. How did it make you feel? Because I've been told that it's been described as magical. So many different floods of emotion.
Right.
And so it's very, very important to kind of be able to express that, because there are other people out there that have that book inside of them that have not pushed themselves to bringing it to fruition. And so that's very important to me on this platform. And that's why I like to have the authors and publishers and illustrators come on and talk about their journey.
Right.
And so if there was anything, that we can lend to them, pushing them toward that, I'm going to do it. It's so self-gratifying. And did you find it therapeutic for doing it?
It was therapeutic. It was just that sense of peace that came over me because I had accomplished something. And that's what I mean. Like, people want to know how to boost their self-esteem, because I'm also a mental health therapist. People want to know how to boost their self-esteem. But something that I believe it was this Canadian psychologist named Jordan Peterson said, how you increase your self-esteem is by accomplishing goals. The more you set goals and you knock them off, it builds your self-esteem, because you say, wow, I actually have what it takes in me to get this thing accomplished. I can do this. I am more than a conqueror. I have everything I need in me to succeed in life. That boosts up how you feel about yourself. So when I hit that submit button, that's what I mean. And that's like that confidence booster for me. It was like, wow, you had this goal, you knocked this thing out. There was challenges on the way. You knocked all of those out, and then you were able to hit that button. Wow.
That's awesome. So was this the book that you had in mind, or did you have another book in mind that you've always wanted to write? You didn't always want to write about the character, or what was it that you wanted to write about?
You know what? I think at the time I really didn't have an idea what I wanted to write. All I knew is that I just wanted to write. As a child, I had a bookshelf. I was reading all types of books as a kid. That was my thing. We had encyclopedias. And it was just books everywhere. Even growing up in school, I was the kid who would win, gift cards. So not gift cards, because this was before gift cards, but they would give us vouchers to McDonald's or other places if you participate in these book clubs or reading clubs at school. So I've always been a reader. So I always wanted to do it, And so I would just pray and ask, like, God, I really want to write a story. I really want. And that day, when I started writing the book 1 year ago, that story was the story that came to me, because I was hearing people say, write what you know. And I was like, even though it was fiction, I said, man, I know about eating disorders. Okay. I know how the mind, the mental anguish that goes along with that. So that's why I wanted to write it. And then the creativity came in as well. But yeah, I can't say it was the story I always wanted to write, but it was the story that was within me at the time.
So my last question would be, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience? Do's, don'ts, anything, anecdotes?
What I would say as far as do is accept that you may need help along the way, meaning that a book cover designer, because I know sometimes some authors that I've seen, they want to do it all themselves, but I just totally believe that we do need other people to make this world work in the best way possible, meaning that I like to outsource things that I'm not good at. So for a book cover, I'm not trying to learn the book cover. And I would suggest if a person, if you're an author and you don't know how to do the book covers, it's okay to pay someone to do that book cover. Yeah. And I hear people saying, well, I don't have money. And I guess I'm just not of that thought, because it's like, I believe we can give money if we need that money. If it's doing a side hustle, selling some clothes on Poshmark or Macari, whatever it is to get some money to get a book cover done, going after anybody that may owe you money to get, so you can get your book cover, to get it done right, Right. and to
Right.
be conscientious of the work that we put out there. And I'm talking to me too, because I know that my grammar, I need help with that. So I do need the editor. And I
Yes.
know it's not always cheap, but there are some less expensive means of getting things done. You know, I didn't try to do my own formatting. I mean, some people can do some of these things, but I'm
Right.
saying for the people, you know, you can't it outsource. Don't be afraid
Yes.
of it. You
Yes.
may
Okay.
need some extra hands on your work.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So what would you think, what would you say the cost was for you from start to finish?
Ooh, the from start to finish, it was probably between about 300-400. And I,
Okay.
yeah, because I spent some money on some covers that I decided not to use. I went through a lot of covers, and yeah, mine is on the less the I guess the less expensive side because the mine are short stories. So I know that the longer the book is, the more expensive it is to get it edited, to get it formatted, and things like that. So
How many pages are your book?
well, the first book is about 57 pages, and then the
Okay.
second one is maybe 187, something like that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you put a lot more into the second one, huh?
Yeah.
Lot more. Okay. All
Actually,
right.
I wasn't keeping up with the pages. I was just writing, and for
Yeah.
some reason, I thought it was under 100, and I submitted it for formatting. They told me, I said, "What?"
Oh goodness. You had a lot to say.
I guess I did because I
Oh
kept
wow.
on thinking, "Wow, this is totally different from the first one," and that's
Yeah.
because I wasn't used to writing that much and didn't
No.
even realize I did it until the formatting.
Okay. Oh wow. Well, I just thank you so much, Will Ray, because I can go on and on and on, you know. So I just thank you so much for coming on to the platform and sharing your book and sharing your journey with us. We really appreciate that, and I look forward to having you back on book two, or when you get your book, so we can see it. And it's just been a wonderful experience and time with you, and I wish you much luck.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So again, because my name, I know it can be a bit difficult for some. Samyra Alexander, and the book is "I Should Have Worn a Curtain," a novella, and I have books out, books one and book two.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you so
Hold on.
much.